Ladies and gentlemen, the greatest battle you will ever face is the one inside your own mind. The mind is a powerful thing. It can be your greatest asset or it can be your biggest enemy. Think about it. How many times have you let your mind talk you out of doing something? How often do you let doubts, fears, and negative thoughts control your actions? You have to take charge. You cannot let your mind run wild. You see, when you allow your thoughts to go unchecked, they start to control you. They begin to dictate your mood, your actions, and your future. But when you master your mind, when you learn to direct your thoughts, that's when you become unstoppable. Your thoughts create your reality. If you're always thinking negatively, you'll attract negativity. If you're focused on success, growth, and opportunity, that's exactly what you'll attract. Remember, the mind doesn't just think on its own. It's constantly shaped by what you feed it. Be mindful of the books you read, the conversations you engage in, and the environment you expose yourself to. Success starts from the inside. Control your mind and you control your destiny. You have the power to choose your thoughts, to choose your beliefs, and to choose your actions. Don't let your mind control you. Control it before it controls you. Your thoughts shape your world. The ability to control them is the key to unlocking your true potential. Whatever you plant in your mind will grow. Be cautious of the thoughts you allow to take root because they will manifest in your life. Just as you would train your body, you must train your mind. It takes discipline to control your thoughts and direct them toward your goals. Don't let negativity seep in. The moment you entertain doubt or fear, you lose control. Be vigilant about what you let enter your mind. You're not at the mercy of your thoughts. You have the power to shift your mindset toward positivity, growth, and possibility. This isn't a one-time effort. It's a daily practice. The more you practice controlling your thoughts, the easier it becomes. The clearer your mind, the better your choices. When your thoughts are in alignment with your goals, your decisions will be focused and intentional. Your thoughts are your responsibility, not anyone else's. Own them, and you'll take charge of your life. The way you think directly influences the way you act. Change your thinking and you'll change your actions, which ultimately changes your results. You can't control the outside world, but you can control how you respond to it. Master your mind and you'll master your success. Your mind is the foundation of everything you do. It determines the quality of your life, the direction of your future, and the level of success you achieve. Think about it. Every great invention, every breakthrough, every extraordinary achievement first began in someone's mind. The way you think, the way you process information, and the way you make decisions all come from what you allow into your mind. If you treat your mind like a valuable piece of land, you will take care of it, cultivate it, and plant good seeds. But if you neglect it, weeds will grow. And here's the truth. If you don't take control of your thoughts, someone else will. The world is full of distractions, negativity, and influences that will shape your thinking if you're not careful. That's why you must take full responsibility for what goes into your mind. The books you read, the people you associate with, and the information you consume all play a role in shaping your thoughts. And what happens in your mind will eventually manifest in your actions, your habits, and your results. A strong mind doesn't happen by accident. It is built with intention. Just like you wouldn't expect your body to stay strong without exercise, you can't expect your mind to stay sharp without feeding it the right material. If you constantly fill your mind with doubt, fear, and excuses, you will always find reasons to stay where you are. But if you fill it with knowledge, wisdom, and possibility, you'll start to see opportunities where others see obstacles. Your thoughts influence your emotions, and your emotions drive your actions. That's why the most successful people understand that if they want to change their results, they must first change the way they think. The real battle is not in the outside world, it's in your own mind. If you win the battle in your thoughts, you'll win in life. But if you let your thoughts run unchecked, they will control you, limit you, and keep you from reaching your potential. The good news is you have a choice. You can decide right now to take ownership of your mind. You can choose to guard it, to strengthen it, and to use it as the powerful tool it was meant to be. Because when you control your mind, you control your future. Everything in life starts with a thought. Just like a farmer plants seeds in the ground, you are constantly planting seeds in your mind. And just like the soil doesn't care what kind of seed is planted, it will return whatever is sown. Your mind works the same way. If you plant negative thoughts, doubts, and fears, don't be surprised when they take root and grow into limitations, hesitation, and failure. But if you plant thoughts of growth, opportunity, and success, your life will begin to reflect those same qualities. The problem is, too many people allow their minds to be filled with weeds, thoughts of worry, regret, and self-doubt, without realizing they are the ones planting them, And once a seed is planted, it doesn't stay small. It grows, it multiplies, and it eventually becomes the dominant force in your mind. That's why it's not enough to simply hope for success or wish for a better future. You must intentionally plant the right seeds and nurture them every day. Feed your mind with knowledge, with inspiration, with ideas that challenge you to grow. Surround yourself with people who encourage you, who push you forward, and who help you think bigger. Protect your mental soil from the weeds of negativity, because if you don't, they will take over. A farmer doesn't expect a harvest overnight. He plants, waters, nurtures, and waits patiently, knowing that the right seeds will eventually bring the right results. Your mind works the same way. The thoughts you consistently dwell on today will shape your reality tomorrow. So the question is, what kind of seeds are you planting? Because whether you realize it or not, your future is being shaped by the thoughts you allow to take root today. Discipline is the bridge between where you are and where you want to be, and nowhere is that more important than in your mind. If you don't discipline your thoughts, they will run wild. They will wander into fear, doubt, and distraction, pulling you away from your goals. A disciplined mind, on the other hand, is focused, sharp, and purposeful. It doesn't entertain thoughts that lead nowhere. It doesn't dwell on excuses. It doesn't get stuck in negativity. It stays locked in on the vision no matter what's happening around it. Now, discipline isn't something that just happens. It's built. It's developed through daily habits, small choices, and constant awareness. Just like training your body, training your mind requires consistency. You must learn to catch yourself when you start thinking in ways that weaken you. The moment you start to complain, stop yourself. The moment you catch yourself making an excuse, correct it. The moment doubt creeps in, replace it with a thought of certainty. This isn't easy, but neither is living with a mind that works against you instead of for you. Most people let their minds drift. They wake up without a plan, let the day control them, and react to whatever happens. But a person with a disciplined mind wakes up with intention. They start the day by feeding their mind with something positive, reading, learning, listening to something that sharpens their thinking. They protect their thoughts from unnecessary distractions, from useless information, from anything that weakens their focus. And because of that, they make better decisions, they take more effective action, and they move towards success with clarity. The truth is, your mind will take the path of least resistance unless you train it otherwise. If you don't discipline it, it will always choose comfort over challenge, hesitation over action, and short-term pleasure over long-term success. But when you take control, when you commit to strengthening your mental discipline, you gain an incredible advantage. You become the kind of person who stays focused when others get distracted, who takes action when others hesitate, and who keeps moving forward when others give up. And that kind of discipline, it changes everything. Your mind is like a garden, and if you don't guard it, anything can take root. The world is full of negativity, distractions, and influences that can weaken your thinking if you let them. That's why guarding your thoughts is not just important, it's essential. If you don't take control of what enters your mind, someone else will. Society, the news, negative people, and even your own doubts will try to plant seeds that don't serve you. And if you're not careful, those seeds will grow into fear, indecision, and failure. The key is awareness. You have to be conscious of what you allow into your mind. It starts with the conversations you have. Some people spend their days talking about problems, complaining about circumstances, and focusing on what's wrong. If you spend too much time in those conversations, their thinking will become your thinking. The same goes for the content you consume. If you constantly feed your mind with negativity, whether it's from the news, social media, or the people around you, don't be surprised when you start feeling stuck, discouraged, or overwhelmed. Guarding your thoughts doesn't mean ignoring reality. It means choosing where to place your focus. It means being selective about the information you absorb, the people you associate with, and the beliefs you reinforce. It means training your mind to focus on solutions instead of problems, possibilities instead of limitations. It's about feeding your mind with things that strengthen you, books that expand your thinking, mentors that challenge you, and environments that push you forward. The truth is, your mind will absorb whatever you allow into it. You can't expect a positive life with negative thinking. You can't expect success if you're constantly feeding your mind with failure. And you can't expect growth if you're surrounded by people who don't want to grow. The choice is yours. You can leave your mind unprotected and let anything in, or you can guard it fiercely and make sure that only the best influences shape your future. Positive thinking isn't something that just happens. It's a choice. Every day you wake up with the ability to decide how you will interpret the world around you. You can choose to focus on what's wrong, on what's missing, on what could go wrong, or you can choose to focus on what's possible, on what you can control, on what you can improve. The difference between the people who succeed and those who stay stuck isn't luck, talent, or even opportunity. It's perspective. The ones who move forward are the ones who choose to see possibilities where others see obstacles. Now, positive thinking doesn't mean ignoring problems or pretending everything is perfect. It simply means refusing to let problems define you. It means training your mind to focus on solutions instead of dwelling on setbacks. It's understanding that every challenge carries a lesson, that every failure holds a seed of growth, and that every setback is temporary if you decide to keep moving forward. Most people don't realize they have control over their thoughts. They react to circumstances instead of choosing their perspective. But once you understand that your mindset is a choice, you take back your power. The challenge is that negative thinking is easy. It doesn't take any effort to complain, to blame, to focus on what's wrong. But positive thinking, that requires discipline. It requires looking beyond the immediate frustration and seeing the bigger picture. It requires deciding before the challenge even comes that you will approach it with the mindset of growth rather than defeat. That's a choice. And the more you make that choice, the stronger it becomes. The truth is, life will always give you reasons to be negative. Things will go wrong, plans will fall apart, obstacles will show up. But at the same time, life will also give you opportunities to grow, to learn, to pivot, to strengthen your character. What you focus on determines what you experience. So if you want a better life, start by making a better choice. Choose to see the good. Choose to find the opportunity. Choose to think in a way that moves you forward. Because at the end of the day, your mindset is your responsibility, and the quality of your life will always reflect the quality of your thinking. Mastering your mind isn't something you do once and forget about. It's a daily practice, a habit that must be developed over time. Just like you can't go to the gym once and expect to stay in shape, you can't train your mind for a day and expect lasting results. It takes consistency. It takes effort. It takes a commitment to strengthening your thinking every single day. The challenge is most people start strong but don't follow through. They read one good book, listen to one inspiring message, or have one productive day and they think that's enough. But growth doesn't work that way. If you don't work on your mind consistently, the old patterns, the doubts, the fears, the bad habits start creeping back in. Your mind, just like your body, will always revert to its most practiced state. That's why you must be intentional about what you feed it. If you're not consciously putting in the right thoughts, the wrong ones will take over by default. Success isn't about making one big change. It's about making small, right decisions over and over again. It's about choosing to control your thoughts, even on the days when it's hard. It's about replacing negative thinking with positive thinking, not once, but every time it creeps in. It's about focusing on solutions instead of problems, not just when things are easy, but when life gets tough. The people who succeed aren't the ones who occasionally work on their mindset. They're the ones who do it every single day. This is where most people fall short. They get motivated for a moment, but they don't stay consistent. They allow distractions to take over. They let circumstances dictate their mindset instead of training their mind to dictate their circumstances. But the truth is, if you want control over your life, you must first gain control over your mind. And that doesn't happen in a day. It happens in the small daily choices you make. The choice to read instead of waste time. The choice to think solutions instead of excuses. The choice to stay focused instead of getting distracted. Mastery isn't about perfection, it's about persistence. It's about training your mind so well that positive thinking becomes automatic, that discipline becomes natural, and that success becomes inevitable. And the only way to make that happen is through consistency. Every day, every thought, every decision. Because the way you train your mind today determines the results you'll see tomorrow. Every decision you make is influenced by the state of your mind. If your mind is cluttered with doubt, fear, and distractions, your decisions will reflect that confusion. But if your mind is clear, disciplined, and focused, your decisions will be sharper, more intentional, and more aligned with your goals. That's why controlling your mind is so important. It's not just about thinking positively, it's about thinking effectively. When you master your mind, you don't just react to life. You respond with wisdom, with clarity, and with confidence. The problem is, most people make decisions based on emotions rather than logic. They act out of fear, frustration, or impatience, and those emotions cloud their judgment. A mind that isn't trained will jump to conclusions, chase instant gratification, or avoid making decisions altogether. But a disciplined mind sees beyond the moment. It looks at the bigger picture. It considers the long-term consequences. It doesn't let temporary emotions dictate permanent choices. The best decisions come from a place of control, not impulse. That means taking time to think, to evaluate, to ask, is this leading me toward my goals or away from them? It means recognizing when fear is holding you back from taking action or when excitement is making you rush into something without thinking it through. It means being able to separate what feels good now from what will be best in the long run. That level of decision-making doesn't come naturally. It comes from training your mind to stay in control no matter the situation. The truth is, your life is shaped by the decisions you make every day, big and small. And the quality of those decisions depends on the quality of your thinking. If your mind is weak, your decisions will be weak. But if your mind is strong, your decisions will be strong. And strong decisions lead to strong results. That's why mental discipline isn't optional, it's essential. If you want better outcomes, start with better thinking. Train your mind, control your thoughts, and you'll find that every decision you make moves you closer to the life you want. Your thoughts are yours, no one else's. No one can think for you. No one can control your mind unless you allow them to. That means you are fully responsible for what goes on in your head, the thoughts you entertain, the beliefs you hold, the perspectives you adopt. All of them are within your control. And if you want to change your life, you must first take responsibility for what's happening in your mind. Too many people blame circumstances for their thinking. They say, I'm negative because of what happened to me, or I can't help the way I think. But that's not true. Life may give you challenges, but you decide how to interpret them. People may speak negativity around you, but you choose whether to accept it. The world may be chaotic, but you determine what you focus on. The moment you realize that no one else is responsible for your thoughts but you, that's the moment you take back your power. Now, taking responsibility doesn't mean your mind will always be perfect. Negative thoughts will still show up. Doubts will still creep in. But it's your job to recognize them and redirect them. When a thought doesn't serve you, don't let it stay. When your thinking starts to slip into fear or excuses, stop and correct it. Just like you wouldn't allow someone to dump garbage in your home, don't allow destructive thoughts to take residence in your mind. Guard your thinking like you would guard something valuable, because it is. The truth is, your thoughts shape your reality. What you dwell on becomes what you believe. What you believe determines how you act. And how you act creates the results you see in your life. So if you want better results, start with better thinking. And if you want better thinking, take responsibility for what you allow into your mind. Because until you own your thoughts, you will never fully own your future. Everything you do starts in your mind. Your actions, your habits, your decisions, they all come from the way you think. If your mindset is weak, your actions will be weak. If your mindset is strong, your actions will reflect that strength. That's why success doesn't start with circumstances. It starts with mindset. Two people can face the same challenge, yet one will rise above it while the other will shrink under it. The difference? How they think. Your mindset determines how you show up in life. If you believe you're capable, you will take action with confidence. If you believe success is possible, you will pursue it relentlessly. But if you allow doubt, fear, and excuses to take over, your actions will reflect hesitation, procrastination, and inaction. It's not luck or talent that separates those who succeed from those who don't. It's their mindset. The ones who win are the ones who refuse to let limiting beliefs control them. They train their minds to think in a way that drives action instead of holding them back. Now, here's the key. Mindset is a habit. You don't wake up one day with an unshakable mindset. You build it. You train yourself to see opportunities instead of obstacles. You discipline your mind to focus on solutions instead of problems. You develop the habit of thinking big, taking responsibility, and refusing to let negative thoughts dictate your actions. And the more you do it, the stronger your mindset becomes. But most people do the opposite. They wait until they feel motivated. They let their emotions decide whether or not they take action. They let circumstances dictate their mindset instead of using their mindset to dictate their circumstances. But the truth is, you don't take action because you feel ready. You take action because you have trained your mind to lead, not follow. Your mindset is either working for you or against you. If it's filled with excuses, hesitation, and doubt, it will keep you stuck. But if it's filled with confidence, determination, and belief, it will push you forward. So if you want better actions, start with better thinking. Because the way you think today determines the way you act tomorrow. And the way you act tomorrow determines the results you get for the rest of your life. Success isn't something you stumble upon. It doesn't come from luck, outside circumstances, or waiting for the right opportunity. It starts from within. Before you can achieve anything on the outside, you have to become the kind of person who can handle it on the inside. Your mindset, your habits, your discipline. These are the foundations of success. If you don't build them first, no amount of external opportunity will matter. Too many people chase success without preparing for it. They look for shortcuts, for quick wins, for someone else to hand them an opportunity. But success doesn't work that way. It's not about what's happening around you. It's about what's happening in you. You have to develop the discipline, the mindset, the work ethic. You have to train yourself to think differently, to act differently, to grow into the kind of person who naturally attracts success. Think about it. If you give a person with a weak mindset $1 million, they'll lose it. If you put someone who lacks discipline in a leadership role, they'll fail. If you hand someone an opportunity they're not ready for, they won't be able to keep it. That's why success starts with who you are, not just what you do. You don't rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your habits. So the real question isn't, how do I get success? The real question is, how do I become the kind of person who creates success? That's where the real work begins. It starts with taking responsibility, with training your mind, with developing the habits of consistency, discipline, and growth. It starts with refusing to make excuses, refusing to let fear stop you, refusing to wait for permission. The truth is, success isn't out there, it's in you. And when you do the inner work first, when you sharpen your thinking, strengthen your discipline, and commit to growth, success becomes inevitable. Not because you got lucky, but because you became the kind of person who makes it happen.